All right, cool. So we're going to talk about these 4 things that cause us financial instability. All right. Sabbath breaking. 2. Lashon hara. Which is another way of saying evil speech. Is it too small? Do I need to zoom in, mother? Need some zoom? Okay, cool. 3 is, I'll try to write bigger. Idolatry. Or those anti-Messiah spirits, all right? And then 4 is sexual immorality. So for the next 4 weeks, we'll go over each individual one of those and see if we can kind of tap into some areas where we may be struggling. So let's just talk about the 4 areas real quick as an intro, and then we're going to go into Lashon hara for the day, and then we'll deal with the other ones, the next 3 weeks. All right. What do these 4 things have in common? The one thing that all 4 of these have in common, if you look at them closely and you discern closely, these are the 4 corners of the Torah. Think about it. You got the Sabbath. That deals with feast days, Leviticus chapter 23, okay? Lashon hara, we'll talk about that today. By idolatry, that's a major corner, and anti-Messiah spirit, that's a major corner of the Torah, because it's so easy to fall in idolatry. And so let's just think about the 10. Let's think about the 10. I'm your master, right? What's next there, Yvonne? I'm your master. What's number 2? You can't look at your notes. All right, it's number 2. So that deals with feast days, Leviticus chapter 23. Okay. Lashon hara, we'll talk about that today. By idolatry, don't break the Sabbath, right? Number 5, honor your father and mother, right? 6, don't kill, very kill, right? Don't murder, right? Very good, don't murder. All right, number 7, don't commit adultery. Very good. Number 8, it's going to come eventually. If you just keep saying it, it's going to come up. 8 is don't steal, right? 9, like you hit it, right? No, we're missing one. 8 is don't steal. 9 is what? Don't lie. Very good. And then number 10. Don't covet. Cool. So I'll give you guys some memory devices for those. Help me out on those. All right, so now we have those in our mind. Which one of those aren't kind of covered here? Which ones are not covered when we're looking at them? Which one is not covered when we're dealing with these 4? 10 commandments, yeah. Out of all the 10 commandments, which one do you not see? That could be there. Okay. You think it's all in there? Okay, so cool. Then we could add these 4 as a whole nother list that covers the Torah. Okay? Now watch. Now, Yeshua gave us a 2. What was his 2? What was his 2 commands? The Father and each other. Right? So he said, love Elohim and then love your neighbor. Yeah. So within those 2, we could find all the commands. Within these 4, we could find all the commands. And then within those 10, we could find all the commands. And then, it keeps breaking out.
That sounds like when you talked about the whole Torah was found in the first verse.
Yeah.
It keeps breaking down so that it's real.
It's in there. Yeah, it's in there. And if you understand the first 3 covenants, the Eden, Adam, and Noahic, you'll find all the Torah within those 3 commandments, 3 covenants, which is from Genesis chapter 1 all the way to Genesis chapter 9. So Leviticus 19:16 says, you shall not go around as a slanderer. That's another word. Leviticus 19:16. Slanderer. That's another word. Slanderer. All right, so Leviticus 19:16. Don't go around as a slanderer. You shall not endanger the life of your neighbor. There's a little secret gem right there. Y'all didn't catch that one. Did y'all see that? Come on. Why is those two commands connected? But now watch. When we first heard this, as we're standing around, horrible, and when we first heard this, did we think, oh, slander is murder? Did we think that? But yet, when Yeshua brings that clarity and we read it retrospectively, when we go back and read it, it's kind of like, oh yeah. It says, don't slander him and then don't endanger his life. And Yeshua ties it together and say, hey, y'all don't see that? Slander is murder. Right? Still in the character, right? Psalms 101:5. I will silence whoever secretly slanders his neighbor. Hold on. So David is taking a posture towards the slanderer. So here he's taking a posture towards the slanderer. I think that's interesting. And what is his posture towards the slanderer? I will not tolerate one who's arrogant and who is conceited. All right, so this is a principle that is dangerous. Lashon hara is participating, and it's both ways. All right. Now I mean receiver and the what's the other one? Receiver. If I receive, what's the one that puts out? The speaker. Call that speaker. Or deliverer, yeah, the one who carries a package, right? All right, so if you receive Lashon hara, all right, because before I give the workup, that can hurt your finances, okay? So that's receiving Lashon hara. So that's someone like, let me tell you. That's receiving Lashon hara. So he says, I will silence them. Hold up, shut up. I ain't trying to hear it. You're talking to the wrong one. So watch. Oh man. I'm trying to stay on task. Go bear with me. I'm trying to stay on task. If there is a spirit that is attracted to you, what's in you? If the Lashon hara spirit is attracted to you, what is in you? Why is this woman or why is this man calling you out of calling everybody else in the world? I'm going to call you and say, let me tell you. Why me? But look at what David says. He says, I won't tolerate one who is arrogant and conceited. My eyes will be on the faithful one of the land, okay? That they may dwell with me. He who walks in a perfect way, that's completeness, shalom, that's a peace, he will serve me. He who practices deceit won't dwell within my house. Okay, so this is another principle. Help me out, Father. Another principle. He who practices deceit won't dwell within my house. He who speaks falsehood won't be established before my eyes. Morning by morning, I will destroy all the wicked of the land to cut off all the workers of iniquity from Yotevate city. And so when he says the workers of iniquity, he's saying, what is that spirit that's inside you that's making you do this? What did you learn? What is this trait inside you that's making you do this, right? And so I won't bring that deceitful person in my house. Deuteronomy 7, Devarim 7:26. You bring the abomination in your house, you'll be cursed like it. Very good. Thank you. That's why David said, I will not bring that deceitful spirit into my home. Very good. Let's contrast Proverbs chapter 11 with Proverbs chapter 10 And this is a challenge. Woo, this is a challenge. Woo, Father, help me with this one. Because I haven't, it takes some skill. It takes some cunning. Anybody offended if I use the word cunning? I know today it has a negative connotation. You know, people associate it with trickery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas originally no. Originally it just meant skillful. Yeah. So let's go to Proverbs chapter. He who hides hatred in his, he who has hatred has lying lips. And he who utters a slander is a fool. All right, so 10:24. So this contrast is very fun, Samakwa, because 10:18, Proverbs 10:18. Because here in Proverbs 10:18, he's showing us, guess what? You can't hide hatred in your heart. So you have to say something. But you can't say something foul. So it takes some skill. I hate you. So I have to say something. I'm mad at you. I have to say something. Or else every time I talk to you, it's lying lips. I'm just like, oh yeah, you cool with me. That's lying lips. He said, but I have to say something without transgressing the Torah. Because fool there is the word transgressor. So I had to express my hatred without slandering you. So that's destroying their character. Because let me give you an example. Right now, there's individuals who have said things about me pre-maturation. Okay, so if you talk about Hosea 3 years ago, Hosea 3 years ago would probably been a different individual. Okay, and so you meet me and you're trying to handle me according to what you heard 3 years ago. You're gonna have a bad idea of what my character is, and so my character is now destroyed. Even though what you said may have been true, and even though what you said may have been right, but you're not giving no room for the group of growth. Yeah. And so we'll work that out. But skillful. This is skillful. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18, right? That takes a skill. I can't hide that hatred in my heart. I can't sit there and say, I love you, brother, but in the inside, I'm like, I can't stand you. So, you know, like when I said I just say it, I do just say it. Only because I also, like right now, there's someone I can't stand, and I work with them, and I say, you know what, I was like, brother, I really can't stand that attitude. I can't stand your character. I can't stand that kiss butt stuff. I said, I'm not mad at you. If that's what you do, that's fine. I hate that. I don't like that. And I can't separate you from it, so I don't like you. What's he gonna do? Oh yeah, and I told him, because his spirit is the type of individual that you can't mix words. You gotta just put it out there, And he's like, man, I just want to be cool, but I can't be cool with you. And I'm not commanded to be cool with you. Because you represent the Yud Hey Vav Hey. You represent the character of Messiah. Yeah. I'm sitting there thinking at my job one time, I told a guy, and I'm a trainer. I train people on how to drive forklifts, and those guys want to drive in the lift, right? And I told him, I said, hey man, you just need to, stop. What you're doing is wrong. Turn this thing around, do it this way, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. I just gave him the instruction. He said from that day on, he said he's about to approach me one day. He said, I was about to come up to you and tell you, look, man, I don't know what you got against me. I don't know why you mad at me, because I just thought you were the meanest person in the world. And I was just going to say, look, just leave me alone. You go your way, I'll go my way. Look, that'd be cool. I said, you thought that about me? He's like, yeah, because you never smile. You just, just like, all the time. I just thought you was just angry at me. I'm like, why? I don't even know you. But, that's character. Ephesians chapter 4:31. That's our last one. And then I have to build the case on why Lashon Hara taps your finances. Because we never even said why. And so it's one thing for someone to get like, Lashon Hara taps your finances, but why? That's the piece that no one will express. That's the secret. They just want you to take it as face value. I'm like, well, those four are just the whole Torah. That's like saying breaking the whole Torah taps your finances. Why specifically those four? And so we're going to do the breakdown of why. How does that equal? And it's a fun breakdown. 431.
With all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil
Good stuff. Good stuff. So what do those things have in common? Bitterness, anger, wrath, malice, lashon hara, right? Those all are things that come from your heart. Good stuff. All right. So I can erase this. Let's do the workup now. Let's do the workup. So we're going to move pretty fast. It's just but 3 scriptures, and then should be right on schedule. 3 scriptures. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Matthew 5. So we have, remember Leviticus chapter 19, 16, Shari showed us, it said, do not be a talebearer or a slanderer and spare the life of your neighbor. So we already have that. And so now we have Matthew 5 that we can now bring into, let's grab that, Matthew 5:37. And this is actually a good challenge. We did this one year in our community. We had like a little swear jar or lashon hara jar. It wasn't swears, it was just lashon hara. We say, okay, here's our challenge for the week. Answer yes and no to just questions. That's it. Just make yes. That's your challenge for the week. Just yes and no. It's a hard day. All right, you want to read that for me there, Samakwa? 5:37.
But let your word yes be yes and your no be no.
Cool.
So beyond you is from the wicked one.
Cool. All right, so Kazak, I think it might be 22. Matthew's 5:22. We're going to go, let's do verse 20, 5:20. Let's start there. Go ahead. For I tell you, unless the righteous exceeds that of the scribes and the parashim, right? Scribes will be Sopharim and parashim. There in no way will you enter into the Malchut HaShemayim. 21.
You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment.
All right, so murder is danger of judgment. Good stuff.
But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause
Come on.
shall be in danger of judgment.
All right, so that covers bitterness, that became malice, all right?
And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire.
All right.
What does that mean?
Raka means
I think one was blockhead, right? Or it's an insult, empty head. Empty head,
Yes, empty-headed
ignorant, fool.
person, stupid.
No, I never say stuff like that. So we got fool or insulting people. That's just the thing. It's more about the insult. Maybe not the word choice, because I can call you a black man, but in the way I say black man could be offensive. And yeah, you are a black man, but because I use a certain tone, the way I say it can be very offensive. All right? And so like, man, you a woman. It's like, you a woman. Hold up. Did you just?
Right.
What you trying to, what you meaning by that?
Right.
And yeah, you are a woman. It's true. It's how you say it. All right, so let's go to Genesis chapter 4 so we can unlock how is murder lashon hara connected with your finances. Genesis chapter 4 verse, let me see. I ain't been here in a while. Oh, you're already there. Cool. 4. All right. So let's start there. 4 verse 10. Now we already know the story. There was this man named Hobble. Hobble means vain, vanity, right? And he had a brother named Cain, right? Who was the oldest? Cain. Very good. Cain was oldest, right? So Cain was older than Hobble, Abel, right? Who killed who? Cain killed Abel, right? So we're picking up the story right there. And he said, what has you done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. You are now cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you go tilleth the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto you her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall you be in the earth. And Cain said to Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, my iniquity or my punishment of iniquity is greater than I can bear. Let's hold your finger there. Let's go back one chapter to Genesis chapter 3. Go back one chapter to Genesis chapter 3. And in Genesis chapter 3, we see the curse on Adam in verse 17. Cool. Verse 17, and Adam, he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles shall it bring forth unto you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. All right, Sue, by the sweat, keep going. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till you return into the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. Put this thing in web for me next time, brother. Dust thou art, and thou art. Who talks like that? So, the ground used to build its strength to us, and we was doing good. This was in Genesis, the Edenic covenant, right? And then after the Edenic covenant, we came into a season where we get the curse of Adam. He said, you will get your provision by working the land. Unless you work the land, you will not get your provision. That's the word bread, provision. Your provision has to come from the land. But you have to work by your sweat of your brow. You have to work hard to get it to come up out of the ground. Cool. So then Cain, he goes and kills his brother. Now, what was the curse of Cain? What was the curse of Cain? Everyone always remember that one. Everyone remember that. For some reason, everyone would say the curse of Cain is being a vagabond. But I always forget the first part. The first part is the ground will not produce its strength. Hold on. The ground was already cursed. The ground was already cursed. The ground was already cursed. The ground, the process was already cursed. So you was already not maximizing already from our transgression. And then Cain murdered someone. He says, now it will not bring its strength. And that word strength is the word koach. K-O-A-C-H. Okay, so depending on who you talk to, some may say the ground wasn't cursed, but the process was cursed. I agree with that. But yet at the same time, the curse for a man who will not take care of his family is to walk around with one shoe. Now, if you walk around with one shoe, the reason is because they're saying the ground is cursed. So it was like an insult to walk around barefoot. To walk around barefoot on the dirt is like an insult because the ground is cursed and you're walking on the cursed ground. So depending on what school of thought you ask, some may say the ground is cursed and some may say the process is cursed. I agree with the process thought, but I'm not against the ones who believe the ground is cursed. How you make it produce. Like a woman isn't cursed, her process on how she gets the baby comes out is cursed. Like the pain. And so the woman isn't cursed, the baby isn't cursed, but how you produce is gonna be suffering connected. Right. And so the man maybe wasn't cursed, and maybe the ground wasn't cursed, but the process on how he's gonna produce his wealth or his provision from the ground is cursed.
Like gardening will be a struggle.
Yeah. Where it used to just kind of spring up, right? First, but I think I know. I'm gonna jump out on a limb. maybe in Deuteronomy 12, he said it's not going to be as it was when you're in the land of Mitzrayim, when you have to work the field. He said you're going to have more of a freedom to flow and be able to enjoy the fullness and the bounty of the land. He said the clean and the unclean alike can be able to eat of the roebuck and the deer and the gazelle, right? So it's abundance, all right? And so that's if we're obedient to his commands, he increases the ground. So He increases your ability to produce. He increases your wealth through obedience, all right? Now watch. He said, Cain, he murdered his brother, and he said, the curse is on Koach, all right? The process. He said, no, the process was hard before. The process was hard before. Now, here's what I don't like about Genesis. Here's what I don't like about when we read the text. We read this text, and it says, you there, Kazak, 4? And he gives, give it to me.
It says, now there are cursed from the earth.
Keep going, next verse.
When thou tillest the ground,
Keep going.
it shall not, okay. And Cain said to them,
Oh, right here, so right there. And Cain said, okay? You get the curse that the ground will produce as wealth, and then Cain says, this curse is too much for me. So what was the time frame between that verse and the next verse? That's what I don't like. We just read it like, la, 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 la. It could have been 6 months later. It could have been a year later. It could have been years later. And he's just like, look, I'm working the ground, and this is too much. All right, so he says, I cannot survive like this. Now, here's another angle. Cain or Cain, guess what he used to do? He was a gardener. He was a husbandman. He was a master of the field. So he's a master of the field, but yet he's like, come on. I used to make this thing work for me, and now it won't work for me. No, because he murdered.
Oh, I thought, it's after the murder.
It's after the murder, right? So he said, because of the murder, you won't produce wealth. Hold on. Lashon hara is murder?
Yeah.
Lashon hara is murder. You get the curse of Cain because of your murder, and it taps your ability to produce wealth. Lashon hara taps your financial income. Receiving or giving. Murder. The curse of Cain. He says, because of your murder, cursed is your ability to come into wealth or koach. So what did Cain do? Anyone know? He said, I can't function off the land. I'll establish trade. Right? He established the very first city, named it after his son. And so where do we find murders the most? Is it in the country or is it in the urban areas? Right? And so we struggle with financial instability in those areas. Why did I put that in my mouth? I'm trying to talk. My mouth was dry. Yeah, my mouth was dry. Don't pick with me. All right, you didn't stop me or nothing. Keep me under the law, man. Keep me under the law. My mouth is super juicy now. It's like, way too juicy. Yeah, it's misdirected fuel. It's misdirected fuel. And so you take that passion. You not usually sell brothers who chime in on YouTube and, slaughter me and talk about me and call me all these type of names and stuff like that. I usually say stuff like, brother, you got so much passion. I hope Father shows you the direction where he wants to take that passion. I admire your passion. It's misdirected. You're attacking me, but I'm the one to be attacked. I'm not against you. And I'm pretty sure your financial situation is crap. I'm pretty sure your financial situation is horrible. And that's why they have so much passion, because I'm not able to come up, I can't get a job, I can't move forward, and the white man, and all this stuff's gonna happen to me because I can't do that. But really, just rewind. Let's just go to some basic principles found in Genesis and start from the beginning. And just dial it down. That's it. Just dial it down. Dial it down. Anyways, so that's how Lashon hara taps your finances. If you look at the word koach, you see it will say wealth, it will say strength, his ability to produce, and everyone forget about the curse of Cain. Yeshua wasn't spitting nothing new. He knew this all the way back from Eden. Yeshua wasn't spitting something amazing. We're like, wow, Yeshua came up with this new, Leviticus 19:16 shows us, hey, don't kill your brother. Don't slander him, protect his life. And then Yeshua says, look, you're murdering the guy. Repeats it over and over again. And then you go back to Cain and say, no wonder you guys can't prosper, because guess what? You're murdering people. Or better yet, you're receiving murderous words. You're listening to murderous words. You're receiving murderous words. You're watching murderous words. It's all around you. And so it's like, turn it off. It's noise. So they said, now that you know that the reason why you can't grow is because you keep running your mouth, Be very sensitive to your mouth and be very sensitive to your ears. And